Hi there everybody, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be reviewing some Fallout chems and deciding if I would use them or not. I've been playing a lot of New Vegas recently, and I've been taking a lot of drugs in that game, and I keep thinking to myself, like, these things look pretty good, like, would they be useful? So let's go through them and see what we think. So let's get this out of the way first. What are chems? Chems are drugs. In the Fallout universe, some are addictive, some aren't. Many have beneficial properties to them, far greater than the drugs in our world. This is absolutely true, because if I smoke a cigarette, I get lung cancer, but if I do a drug in the Fallout universe, I get some, like, crazy-ass power for a little while, which is fucking awesome. In this video, I'm going to go through some of the chems and weigh the pros and cons of frequently using them, and how they would change my life if I had steady access to them. So I'm basically just going to go one slide at a time. There'll be a different drug on every page, and we're just going to decide if they're useful, if I want to use them, and all that stuff. Let's start off with Jet. So Jet is an inhalant that the user breathes in, kind of like an asthma inhaler or something like that. People on the internet say it's like an amphetamine, so let's go with that. In Fallout 4, it seems to slow down time temporarily, allowing the user to move faster and react to things better. You see, like, your character kind of, kind of inhale it, and then, like, everything kind of slows down for a little while. However, this does not last long, requiring constant doses to keep the high going for more than around 10 seconds. So it doesn't really have a long-lasting effect to it, which is already kind of bad, because, like, if you're, like, buying this at, like, your fucking local convenience store, you want to make sure it lasts you for a while. You don't want to be buying something that's just, like, 10 seconds of slowdown, and then that's it. Unlike a lot of chems in this series, we also see Jet addicts a lot firsthand. You see a lot of them in New Vegas, where they're just kind of sitting around Freeside, bumming around, and just waiting for you to, like, rob them or kill them for no fucking reason or whatever. Like, being a Jet addict is, like, genuinely life-ruining. It's like being a meth addict or, like, getting addicted to crack or something like that. So, I don't really think I would do Jet, to be honest. Moving on. Next up, we have Buffout. Buffout are these small pills that work a lot like steroids, though they seem to be much more potent and lack a lot of downsides. You don't need to inject Buffout, which is already really great because I fucking hate needles. So if I could avoid that, that'd be nice. They have a harsh crash when they wear off, which is fine, who gives a shit. Energy drinks have the same thing, although I don't really like energy drinks either. So while Buffout can be addictive, it does seem that many pre-war athletes are used to use it a lot. And apparently a typical Buffout container holds 50 pills. So that's 50 moments where you just get to fucking steroid up and be super buff and, like, do whatever the fuck you want for a little while. I think this would be really useful when I'm working, or, like, if I need to stay up or something like that. Like, it's a really good, like, stimulant or whatever. If I use it with moderation, I think it would really just be good for me, and I can't really think of any big downsides. I mean, what drugs have significant downsides with long-time uses? Not Buffout. I mean, my dude in New Vegas uses it all the time. Nothing bad ever happens to him. So I think Buffout is a yes. I would absolutely use it. Moving on. Next up, we have Mentats. Now, Mentats, I'm going to be honest, are very easy ones. In fact, one of the reasons why I made this video in the first place, because I would abso-fucking-lutely use Mentats. They're small, they're tiny little pills that you eat, and they basically just make your brain work better in every conceivable way. It's faster, it's more efficient, you, like, it just increases your work speed and everything like that. As somebody that has a lot of trouble focusing and, like, working long periods of time, this would be like a fucking godsend to me. I would be using Mentats all the fucking time. There's also another thing that's really interesting about Mentats. There's, like, some background lore. I don't know what fucking game it's in, but apparently some school gave a bunch of children Mentats, and it gave them, like, permanent, like, IQ increase or whatever, which is, like, insane. So, like, can you imagine, like, doing a shit ton of Mentats when you're a kid and becoming, like, Albert Einstein, like, 2.0, or maybe even, like, 5.0? Like, you would literally just become a god. So, yeah, I'd be doing the shit out of Mentats. I mean, I would be inhaling this stuff, especially when I'm a wee little fetus. From what I understood on the wiki, like, children were able to get their hands on this. Like, it wasn't like an adult drug. So, I mean, yeah. If you are Mentat maxing, are you really living? Just to get into the boring side effects, it's highly addictive, you get sluggish when it wears off, and it gives you some brain damage or whatever, but, like, I mean, they come in a lot of flavors, so it doesn't really matter. Next up is Hydra. Now, Hydra is a drug that essentially heals broken limbs, which is fucking insane. Can you imagine you get into a skiing accident, and instead of being on work disability for, like, 5 months, you just, like, take a Hydra and everything is fine again? I mean, It's literally just mushrooms, scorpion glands, and Night Stalker blood. Doesn't really sound like anything super dangerous or whatever, and it seems to work almost immediately. I mean, like, there's no downside. It's literally just like, keep some Hydra in your fucking bathroom cabinet, and if you think you have a broken limb, just take it, and it just fixes everything. It's fucking genius. I mean, think about how many people this would help. This won't just help me, this will help other people. This will help so many fucking people. Like, it's such a no-brainer. On to the next one. Next up we have Healing Powder. Healing Powder was created by Caesar's Legion. It's a powder that you basically just eat. So like you just kind of open the bag and just shove it all down your mouth. Well, it does have a perception downside that like temporarily like fucks with it. I should note that it's just as effective as Stimpaks without you needing to like inject it or anything like that. So think about it. You get shot or whatever, you take Healing Powder and it heals you. You get slashed with a knife, you take Healing Powder, it heals you. You fall off of a cliff and take falling damage, it heals you. I mean, it's literally like, it's perfect. I don't like needles too much, so I mean, I'd rather just do some Healing Powder. Like, thank you. Thank you, Caesar. On to the next one. We have a blood pack, and this is a chem. It says so in the wiki, apparently. So it's literally just a pack of just blood. The player never gets sick from this, so I'll assume I won't get sick either. In fact, it heals the player, so it's even better. Now, I'll be frank with you for a minute. Every time I see a pack of blood, I get a little hungry looking at it. So, I don't really know how this works. I'm assuming you, like, IV or, like, use, like, a needle to, like, transfer the blood into you. But I would try to, like, drink it or something, because it looks fucking yummy. I mean, look at that shit. That's like a fucking, it's like a Bloody Mary or something like that. I drink the shit out of that. That's fucking delicious. And, you know, you could squish the bag to, like, get more of it out faster and stuff like that. I'd fucking just put a straw in there and go to town. Anyway, next is Steady. So Steady is a inhalant that uses a Sunset Sarsaparilla bottle, and it basically just makes it so your weapons have no spread. I'm assuming this translates into you being a very steady person all of a sudden. You know, being able to keep your hands steady and everything like that, and to like really focus in on what you're doing. Now, as an artist myself, I would be inhaling this shit all the goddamn time. I'd be doing Steady so much that like my fucking lips would be falling off. It seems so useful for like drawing and like focusing on art. I'd be pumping out art faster than I could fucking keep up with. I mean, seems like a very useful tool for me. So I would be doing Steady a lot. Nice. Next is Calmex. Calmex? Whatever. It's apparently a tranquilizer from the pre-war that basically activates your fight or flight senses, allowing you to ignore like fear, so you act on impulse. While it sounds like really fucking funny, I don't really think I would have any use for this whatsoever. I'm not really a person that in my day-to-day is in fight or flight scenarios or in situations where I would want to be in it. Maybe on the highway, am I right? But that's really it. I can't really think of any reason why I would want to use this. Next up is Psycho. Psycho is a military-grade performance-enhancing chem that injects a mixture of chemicals that makes the user tougher, while turning off higher brain function to essentially make them aggressive meatheads. Outside of, like, mosh pitting, I can't really think of any reason why you would want to do this. Even then, I don't really think I'd even want to use it, like, in situations like that, because you'd probably just go, like, really overboard and kill somebody. It also has significant downsides, because it's, like, really experimental and, like, not really tested completely. So I would not have this near me at all. That looks fucking terrifying. Alright, Bufftats. These are Mentats and Buffout mixed. Somebody managed to mix the pills together. So now I get all the benefits of the 2 drugs I wanted to do. But, like, I only gotta take 1 pill. So it's safe. You're not, like, mixing drugs anymore. It's, like, fucking genius. So, I would take this preferably, instead of, like, both of them separately. Unless, like, there was one thing I wanted to max out over the other at the time. I would also imagine that if you took this as a kid, just like with Mentats that give you like the permanent IQ boost, you'd also get like a permanent strength boost too. So we should start giving this to our children. I think that's a pretty fucking good idea. Next up is Alien Biogel from Fallout 3. The wiki says that this is a chem. I don't remember fucking using this in Fallout 3. I fucking hate Fallout 3. It's a small tube of gel that heals you. I don't know if it's like a gel that you put on wounds or if you eat it. I hope you eat it because it looks fucking yummy. It also gives like a random side effect when you use it. Some of them are pretty nice, some of them are pretty bad. I think the like good effects are better than the bad effects, so like more and often you'll like benefit from it. Like see how it's +2 and -1s? Like that's like fucking good. I would take that gamble each time. Imagine just like eating some powder, some like little gel, and you just get like more strength for like a little while. Like that's fucking awesome. Thank you, aliens. Next up we have ant nectar or ant queen pheromones. No. Now we have the mutated toe from Fallout 2. If you like get too if you have too much radiation, you get like radiation sickness and then you start to mutate and you grow an extra toe. You need to have it cut off if you want to enter like certain places or whatever. So once you get it cut off, it becomes a consumable. And if you eat it, you lose 3 max HP for a little while. If you save the toe, however, and throw it at the final boss, he will permanently lose 3 max HP. While this is really fucking funny, it's so much work for like so little gain. Now, if the toe had some better benefits, I could see myself like getting like radiation mutations on purpose to have it cut off and then have like a supply of toes. But for a bit like this, I don't really think it's worth it. So no. Next up, we have RadAway. Now, I'm never really around radiation in my life, but I mean, RadAway just seems like something that I would want to be in the world so I can use it in case I really need to. I don't know if you administer it through an IV bag or a syringe, probably IV bag, and it takes time to administer, but like, every time, I really like using it in game because it goes like, like it just sounds very nice. Like I don't know, man, I'd use it. Who cares? Like if I was like dying of radiation sickness and like somebody was like, all we have is RadAway, I'd be like, dude, put that thing in me right now, I need it. Lastly, we have Fixer. Now, Fixer's like it's like the reason why I would use any of these in the first place. Because the biggest risk that a lot of these chems have is addiction. But what if you just couldn't get addicted to things? They literally made a drug that makes it so you can't get addicted to drugs. And the only downside is that you feel a little woozy afterwards. If I have like this, Buffout and Mentats, I'm set. I'm going to live like the most productive life ever. And I can't think of a single conceivable downside. What is brain damage? What is organ failure? I don't give a shit, dude. I got my Fixer right here. Who cares? Conclusion. I would not last 1 week in the wasteland. All the hard drugs are so yummy and useful, I'd be dead on the sidewalk in Freeside before I even knew where I was. To get the point across, I booted up New Vegas and took a photo of a random dead guy I found. That would totally be what I am if I was in the Fallout universe and black, which I'm not in real life. So yeah, that's gonna do. Thanks so much for watching.